page 13 of our packet. Before we start, though, I want you to open your book up to the distance and midpoint formula notes. It's on page 476 of your book. Okay, so you're going to have to pause right now, go get your book, and I'm going to kind of walk you through. All right, so you should have your book open now. And what we're looking at here is we're on a coordinate plane, and they've given us a point A and a point B. We know the coordinates of these 2 points, but we don't know the distance from here to here. And if we didn't know Pythagorean theorem, or we didn't know this third point here, we would not be able to calculate the distance. It's on a diagonal. So there is something called the distance formula, and the distance formula is going to help us find a distance between 2 points, because it's going to basically draw a right triangle here, and it's going to help us find this third point, okay? So what the distance formula is, we're going to go back to our distance formula notes here. The distance formula equals the square root, and I'm copying it down right here from this part of your page, okay? So we're going to write it down, and then we're going to talk about what it means. So it's x2, it's a subscript, remember, a sub 2, minus x sub 1, that quantity squared, okay, right here, plus y2 minus y1, that quantity squared. So what you're going to be given is you're going to be given coordinates of 2 points, these 2 points right here. And they're going to say, find the distance of those 2 points. So let's say, for example, your 2 points are 3, 2 on the coordinate plane, and 7, 5. Let's say they're 3, 2, and 7, 5. And I say, what is the distance from 3, 2 to 7, 5? So think of on a coordinate plane where 3, 2 is, you know, in the quadrant 1 on the top right, 7, 5 is up even higher. What we're going to do is we're going to just pick one of these to be x1, y1, right? They're all in xy form. We're going to make one be the 1s and the other one be the 2s. And it doesn't matter which one's 1 and which one's 2. And we're going to plug that in to the distance formula. So x2 is 5 minus x2 is 7 minus x1, which is 3, the quantity squared, plus y2 is 5 minus y1 is 2, the quantity squared. Okay, so now you remember your order of operations. Goodness, let's speak. So parentheses are first. 7 minus 3 is 4, and that's going to be 4 squared. Plus sign gets rewritten because we're not to that yet. 5 minus 2 is also in parentheses, so that's 3, the quantity squared. All right, next step, order of operations. Exponents are next. 4 times 4 is not 8, right? It's 16, plus 3 times 3 is 9. Now we have the root of 25, the square root of 25. What times itself is 25? 5. So those 2 points are 5 units apart. It might be inches, feet, whatever. Depending, on the units and the real world example that they give you. It's always going to be positive. You couldn't say negative 5 because it's a distance that's going from one place to another. That's a positive distance. So what I want you to do now is I want you to practice a problem. I'm going to give you 2 points. We'll call this number 1. And it's going to be 11, negative 2, and 7, negative 5. So go ahead and pause the video. Step 1, you're going to write the distance formula. Step 2, you'll plug in. Step 3, you'll use order of operations and solve and include units in your answer. So go ahead, pause the video, and try that out. Okay, so let's see how you did. So just by coincidence, the answer is also 5 units to this one. So you wrote the distance formula. You need to have it memorized, so get it going in your brain right now. Then you plug in what you know. I made the first one the 1s, the second one the 2s. You're going to keep the parentheses around this time because a negative times a negative is a positive, and it's the root of 25, which is 5. All right, now it's not always going to work out to be a perfect number, so I'm going to give you one right now. Obviously, you know what's going to happen. It's not going to be a whole number answer. I want to practice one more. Make sure that you're on the right track for this. So it's -1, 3, and 5, -2. -1, 3, and 5, -2. Go ahead, pause, and make sure you can do it. Start by writing the formula. Okay? You would have worked it out and got the square root of 61. And if you plug that into your calculator is going to say that the square root of 61 is 7.81, so on. So we will say D is approximately, get your approximately signs in there, 7.8 units. All right, so if you still have a question about the distance formula, see Mrs. Wyman. Otherwise, you're moving on to the next page.